How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the stock market, going over the S&P 500 in particular, and talking about a couple of different scenarios that could end up playing out here over the next couple of weeks in the stock market. And I also want to break down some stocks that I'm watching right now that I personally believe can double or maybe even triple over the next couple of months, and especially over the next 1 to 3 years as the economy is slowly starting to get back to normal. And is the economy getting back to normal right now? It's trying to, it's on its way, but we're obviously still in a very rough time. So there's going to be some speculation involved with these stocks, but again, I'll go over why I believe they can maybe double or triple over the next couple of months, over the next couple of years as well. So if you guys find value in this video, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, and check out the free links down below in the description box if you want to be further connected with the Strive Smart community. And if you want 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,400, all you have to do is deposit $100 into the account, and you get your 2 free stocks, again, valued up to $1,400, and those are all linked right down below in the description box. And first and foremost, guys, this is a bit of a different video. During the week, I typically upload after the market closes, or actually, let me rephrase that. I film the video after the market closes, and I always upload it after the market closes as well. But in this case, I actually can't film a video later, so I'm recording this at about 8:50 a.m. before the market opens. So it's going to be a bit of a different video, but hang in with me, guys. I'm sure you will all enjoy it. So, and of course, if you guys watch this later, you're going to see what ended up happening in the market today, so you can see how this technical analysis that we're going to do right now ends up playing out. So the S&P 500 ended up closing at 3170 yesterday, right? And right now the futures are running up. E-mini S&P futures, they're currently up $6.75. Might as well call it $7, up 0.2%. The NASDAQ is up 0.7%, so very strong start in the futures for the NASDAQ tech-heavy index. And the Dow Jones pretty much break even, up $10, up 0.04%. But overall, the sentiment here pre-market is green. We see again the futures are all green, especially the NASDAQ. So it seems like today could be another day where tech carries the market. At least that's what it's looking like right now. Sure, things can change later on in the day, but in the start of the market, it seems like tech could end up holding us. We have Microsoft up pre-market, all-time high, $216. We have Amazon up to about $31.20, all-time high pre-market here. Apple, all-time high at $385. So we'll have to see if this strength ends up holding throughout the day today. And if it does, we're most likely going to have a green day, because if you guys didn't know, these major stocks, they make up like 20% of the S&P 500, in terms of these 5-6 FANG plus Microsoft stocks. So if they're green, likely the market will be green today. So back to the S&P 500. Again, the futures are green right now. That is looking good heading into pre-market. A couple of levels that I'm looking at, and I talked about this yesterday, so I don't want to just repeat myself every single day here, but it's still valid, so we're going to talk about it. And the main levels are between 3155 to 3160, up to about 3175, and that's exactly where the S&P is trading right now. The futures, again, have us pegged up about $5, so we might end up gapping out, when the market opens. And if we break out of 3175, 3185, that general area of resistance over the past couple of trading days, ever since the beginning of July, that is where I believe the S&P is going to end up seeing its leg up, right? From there, I can see it easily going to 3200, 32.30, and quite honestly, based on the overall uptrend here, you guys can see on the 2-hour chart, this is a higher low right here at 3,000 on the 180 SMA. We already took out 31.50, which is big. So based on the overall uptrend, it seems like the S&P is setting up for that break to 32.30 and to even take that out as well to hit a higher high if the uptrend ends up extending itself and continuing. So 32.30 is the first price target here to the upside, and above that, we might even be going up to 33.30. So there's about 170 points, 180 point upside here on the S&P if we take out 32.30 and filling up to 33.30. That could give us around a 3 to 4% upside when we're looking at percentage points from where we are right now. And again, just because tech is strong right now, just because the futures are up right now, doesn't mean we're going to rally the whole day. This could easily change. So on the downside, I'm watching 31.50, 31.55. If we take that out, 31.20 is coming up next. And if we fail to hold 31.20, guys, if the bulls fail to hold and retake 31.20, this thing could be going down to 30.60. And will it go down to 30.60 today? Probably not. I mean, unless we get some very bad news, very negative news. I could not see the S&P falling 100 points even tomorrow as well, right? But again, anything could happen, and they're worth watching. 30.60 and 31.20, right? So those are a couple of levels I'm watching here on the S&P 500 overall, and just keep an eye on the direction. Again, we're in this range. Either way, either direction that we pick, it's going to be either bullish or bearish. That's kind of how simple it is at this point in time, especially when we're trading in a range, right? In a 20-point window like we are right now. So let me know down below in the comments, how did the market end up playing out? Again, I'm filming this pre-market, so I'm not sure. I don't have the crystal ball. I wish I did. If I did, I would have, bought Bitcoin back at $1. I would have bought, Amazon at 50 cents if I had the crystal ball, but I don't have the crystal ball. So let me know what you guys think, what ended up happening, and what you guys are doing in the markets. I'd love to know as always. Now, as for a trading update, that's what I typically do in these videos every day after market. As of right now, not much has changed from yesterday. I'm still holding Alta. I'm still in UPWK. I still have my GDX calls, and I'm still in Workhorse Group at an average of about 1640. So a lot of these positions are doing well right now. Gold is still doing very well, up to 1820. GDX pre-market was up last time I checked. You guys can see it's up about 30 cents here pre-market. Very, very strong there. And my $40 calls, those actually might hit the target price today if we end up rallying to $40. Does that mean I'm going to sell them? No, because they expire in September, so I still have some time on my side there, and we'll see what ends up happening if that ends up happening. So, yeah, in terms of now, that's all I'm in. UPWK, Alta, GDX, Workhorse Group, and I'm looking to end up maybe adding more to these positions. At this point, we're seeing NEO is up pretty big pre-market, just kind of like we talked about in yesterday's video. So I might end up taking a position here because we talked about, okay, we pulled down from 15 to about 12 bucks. Now, I said in yesterday's video, the fact that we ended up holding a higher low here, you can see it on the 20-day chart. We held a higher low in the 50 SMA at 12 bucks. That was good. And I said if we rally up pre-market today, right? I said that yesterday. I said tomorrow if we rally up pre-market, which is today, and we end up hitting, let's say, 1350, 1325, 1350, 1375. That is where I'm looking to pick a position. And you guys can see we ended up pushing to 1420. Now we're pulling down to about 1370. So I might literally take a position after I'm done filming this video in the pre-market session, with the goal of selling it anywhere from mid-14s to high 14s, maybe even $15. We'll end up seeing how that ends up rallying. So NIO is one of the stocks that maybe not has gotten hit as hard from this crisis as some of the others, but I think this one could easily double or triple over the next couple of years. Maybe not months, since it's already doubled or tripled. It's honestly gone up even more than that over the past couple of weeks, months. So I don't think it's going to go up 3x from here, but I think over the next couple of years it can, but over the next couple of weeks, probably unlikely. But either way, I'm watching NIO as a trade, and when it comes down to some of these stocks that have gotten hit the hardest, we know it's hotel stocks, which I'm not looking at myself. We know it's restaurant stocks, which I am looking at. We know it's airline stocks, which I'm not looking at myself. And there's of course other ones that are just not touching the top of my head right now. But the ones I'm keeping my eyes on are the restaurant stocks, to be completely honest. And like I said earlier in this video, these can easily double or triple over the next couple of months, and especially looking from 2 to 3 years out, but there's a lot of speculation involved. And you guys can probably guess why. It's because of the whole crisis. We're still not out of the crisis. The economy has suffered lasting damage. That's no doubt about it, right? Just because the stock market's doing well, it doesn't mean the economy's doing well. The economy's going to be in some trouble over the next couple of quarters at least, due to the lasting damage from this CV. And a lot of these restaurant stocks, we'll just start off with TXRH, Texas Roadhouse. They've gotten hit the hardest. And let me tell you, Texas Roadhouse actually is holding up pretty decently compared to some other ones here. It's gone from $73 to $25 back in the end of March, middle of March. Now it actually rallied. It did rally all the way to $63. Now it's pulled down to about $49. So the speculation here is, when is this vaccine going to come out? When are people going to be comfortable going back to restaurants and actually sitting down at a packed restaurant and eating without a mask, right? Just the normal way. When is that going to happen? And when are these restaurants going to be able to pull the normal amount of profit, the normal amount of revenue that they do? Because we all know the restaurant business, if it's operating at 50% capacity, for the most part, if not all the time, they're losing money right off the bat, because they have to operate at 100%, 80% to even make money, a lot of these restaurants, because that is just how they operate. That's just how they roll. There's a lot of overhead when you're operating a restaurant, to the point where, you know, if half your customers aren't coming in and your profit margin's like 10, 15%, and you're bleeding 50% of money, you know, you're losing, half, 50%, whatever. You're losing money off the bat. So the point here is, for these restaurants to get back to making the revenue, the profits that they were making, obviously they have to get back to full capacity, 80% capacity, 90% capacity. This whole 25%, 50% capacity, it's not going to work. It's going to continue to be detrimental for these restaurants, right? But again, this is where the speculation comes in. When do you think these restaurants will be back at full capacity? Is it a year from now, a year and a half from now, when the vaccine comes out? Because at this point, cases are still going up. We have the death rate going down, which is fantastic, but the cases are still going up. We have, states like Texas, Arizona, Florida, reshutting certain locations, restaurant, bars. So we might see another big drop in these stocks, but as the demand starts coming back, that is when they can start going back up in price, because you have to realize the stock's price reflects the current business right now, how much money they're bringing in right now. Because think about it, if they were operating at full capacity and the stock crashed, like Texas Roadhouse, for example, from $70 down to $25, and they're still operating at full capacity, that would be a complete steal. That would be a buy, as Jim Cramer says. And I don't really watch Jim Cramer that much, but I do sometimes. I'll be honest. I'm guilty of watching him sometimes. But if they're operating full capacity, then the stock drops. That's a deal. But if the restaurant, it loses 75% of its business and the stock goes down 75%, it makes sense. So at this point, I'm looking at Texas Roadhouse at $49, and we could jump into financials, PE ratio, all that good stuff in another video, but just taking a look at it from a glance here, from $50, as it starts to, first and foremost, the technicals, by the way, if we end up holding this uptrend right here at $50, we could end up catching a move maybe back up to $60 to $65, and kind of, when the restaurants over the next couple of months, as they start doing better, I would not really be surprised if Texas Roadhouse, and it might not take a couple months, it might take a year or two, but I would not be surprised if they ended up rallying back up to the 60s and maybe taking out the 70s. And another restaurant here, I might be biased, guys, because I'm a fat kid at heart, is Cheesecake Factory, and I'm just a sucker for cheesecakes. I love the Oreo cheesecake. The lemon meringue one's pretty good as well. Same thing with what's the other one? The Reese's one. I absolutely love that. That cheesecake. And in general, Cheesecake Factory has amazing food from Italian. You get burgers there, sandwiches, whatever. So this is a great restaurant. Again, it's bringing out the fat kid in my heart here, and this has gotten hurt even worse than Texas Roadhouse. It's gone from $45 to $14, and it hasn't even recovered as much. And this one, Texas Roadhouse, might not 3x, 2-3x from where it is now, but Cheesecake Factory, I can see it doing that even within the next couple of months. I mean, it was at $30 under a month ago, and now it's at 20. Who's to say it can't rally back up to 30 on some more positive news on the crisis, the CV, a vaccine, restaurants opening, maybe they get a loan. I believe they did just get a loan as well. It's kind of slipping my head right now, but I do believe they just got some financing here to keep them afloat, which is good. And I just think that as people start coming back to normal, Cheesecake Factory is not going anywhere. I believe they're here to stay. They're advancing and they're investing for the future. They have North Italia right now, which is an FRC. What's it called again? Fox. You guys know what I'm talking about. They just acquired FRC. I'm forgetting what the acronym stands for. And North Italia is this Italian restaurant that's expanding. So they're looking to invest in the future here. And in general, I believe anything above $23, that could be where the stock starts to push, right? From about $20 to $23, we'd end up holding in the uptrend at that point, very similar to Texas Roadhouse, and then we could rally from there. So I believe this opens up a pretty decent trade opportunity, but in the short term, again, we're in a pretty difficult spot, so it might be a tricky trade. But buying here and holding for 3 years, I think you can end up making a pretty decent return because, again, their restaurant capacity right now, it's like 50%. It's cut in half. As they start getting more customers, it's going to start going back up. The capacity and the stock price should follow, so I wouldn't be surprised if we did end up going back to $40, which could be a 2x. And if we go back a bit on the 3-year chart, you guys can see this stock was once a $60 stock. So many people could argue that these restaurant stocks are a bargain right now, but again, it's speculation on when the economy will get back to normal, when it's more about just the crisis and the vaccine at this point, and when we're just going to be able to eat around other people in general. So another one here, been talked about a lot. I probably like this one the least as I think it's the most high risk, is Dave & Buster's, ticker symbol PLAY. Dave & Buster's has gone from, take a look at this, guys. I mean, it's gone down 50% in the past couple of weeks in its own, but it's gone from $50 pre-CV here all the way down to $4. I mean, come on. This thing went down 90%, and from $4, it rallied up to $23. Now it's pulling back down to $10, which does seem to be a base support on Dave & Buster's over the past couple of months. So watch this level, $11, $10, and see what it ends up doing here. And this is a bit more risky than a restaurant stock because it's a bar. It's also an arcade. all these arcade games, from basketball to the zombies game to just everything. You guys know. You guys have been there. And it's also, it's a bar, it's a restaurant, it's an arcade. So it's all three combined, very high risk. But I honestly don't think they're going anywhere long term. But it doesn't mean that they can't go bankrupt, which would wipe out the shareholders, which is where the risk comes into play. So when do you think that Dave & Buster's is going to get back to normal? That is what you have to gauge when it comes to investing in this thing. But from $12, and anything under 10 could be an even bigger steal, but from $12 even back up to where we rallied in the middle of June, the beginning of June, that could be at 2x from 12 to 24. And then from there up to, let's say, $40, if we get back to the pre-CV basis, that could be a 4x from where we are right now. So these are a couple of stocks that I'm watching. Nothing crazy, but 3 of the restaurant/entertainment stocks that do have potential, that are pretty solid businesses, but they've just been crushed. And I'd love to know what you guys have to think down below in the comments. Let me know, what are your thoughts, and what's your speculation? Do you think they're going to bounce back very strong? Are you buying any of these stocks? I would love to know. Now, if you guys want to see some other stocks I'm watching right now, as we're getting deeper into July, I'm going to link down 2 videos that I made earlier in this week that you can go and refer to. I talk about a lot more stocks there and talking about what I'm looking to do in terms of these stocks. Some of it I'm actually invested in. So go check those out. Link down below in the description box. I'm going to wrap up today's video here, a bit of a quicker video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, consider subscribing. Let me know down below in the comments, again, any thoughts that you guys have. And don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks. One of them valued up to $1,400. If you deposit $100 into the account, that is how you get the free stocks. And those are linked down below in the description box. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.